which they have picked up here because they cultivated the row. But when the time comes, they will take this pipe and they will, run it down the row, and they will plant. Hook the pipe up to this thing sticking out here, see it? That's where the water comes.
Right.
And they will plant in the row here 3 hop plants right in the middle, and they'll run a string from a stake up to the trellis up there. You can see
the string from last year.
From last year, they're remaining here, and they plant a little plant like this, and by August 10th, it's up there, and this whole trellis thing is groaning. And one of the reasons that they grow them in Yakima is because you can depend almost, once every 10 years, it rains in August. It hardly ever rains in August around here, though. Because if it rains, then those trellises, which are already heavy anyway, get so heavy that they collapse, and it's a huge catastrophe, and you have to drag the things out of the mud. And, I wouldn't say once every 10 years, once every 20 years. Once in a while, once in a lifetime, it'll rain, and that's a catastrophe. And between the August 15th and the first part of September, again, this is very labor intensive, as you can imagine. You have to plant every damn plant every year. It's an annual. It isn't. There's nothing there today. And you have to string the strings, and then you have to cultivate the thing throughout the season, and then you have to have an individual. They have a big platform they stick on the front of a tractor, so they got a guy up there. There's a guy up there at the top who cuts the string, and a guy on the bottom that cuts the string, and they lay the thing. This is a vine that's like a trumpet vine looking, sort of, It's about this big around, and it's just got a zillion of these little pine cone things on it. And once they get it corralled, they have some mechanization to pick them off. They run them over a thing that looks like a drum for an old-fashioned music box.
Oh yeah,
it's got little spikes
right, with the spikes on it.
And the spikes pick off the actual pine cone off of the vine thing.
And that's how you have beer hops.
Then they dry them
in a kiln, right? They put everything. Yeah.
There's kilns around here. I don't know. I have to think about where there was one handy. Then they dry them, and then they take the dried thing and crush it up and put a little oil with it and make it into a syrup, and then they make it into a pellet.
And
the pellets.
So most people use the pellets for the brewing process
because you can ship them around that way easier.
Right.
But they also ship them around in big bales of dried leaves of dried hops, and they also ship around big drums of the syrup kind of stuff.
Okay.
And those processing plants are in Yakima, and they ship them all over the world. I mean, there's hardly. You mentioned that you looked it up, and there's hardly any places that grow hops.
Right.
So we're shipping hops to Shanghai in Thailand, and to Sapporo in Japan, and all over the place.